Hello, everyone, and it's my holy privilege and honor tonight to have Isa LaPointe, Melissa LaPointe with us, and Teresita Alvarado with us tonight. It's a holy privilege and honor to be with both of you. You're both incredible leaders and teachers and healers in your communities, and I'm so grateful you're willing to talk with me tonight about energy and about what energy means to you and how we can place our energy and put our energy and Teresita, we had talked about, you have some really beautiful poetry that you've been sharing. You and I've been sharing some of our poems, and I was wondering if you'd be willing to maybe open with one of your poems for our conversation tonight.
Yeah, thank you. That would be an honor. Thank you. I just realized that I don't name my poems, so so I'll just read it. Okay, I don't know what my phone is saying. Okay, here we go. The song of 1,000 birds calling me home into the riches of humanity, searching for those that once died, inviting them into the magic of 1,000 stars. Wake up, they say. We have been waiting for a while. What have they been waiting for? For our souls to shine as bright as the morning sun. For 1,000 voices to come into unison, serving, praying, speaking the truth. The truth that once lived in the blood of our ancestors. Their stories being carried to learn what once was sacred. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. What once was sacred and the stars, all of those little suns, those small suns. And so I'm wondering about, because that energy has like a lot of the repetition of thousands and birds and stars. And so I just wanted to open with each of you, like, I'm wondering about energy. And there are, my mom, Barbara Means Adams, she wrote a book called Prayers of Smoke. And in that book, she talks about the order of things. And when she's talking about the order of things, she talks about that Great Spirit is supposed to be first, or the Creator goes first. And then we have the sun, or the soul, or we, the sun. And then after the sun is energy, and or shkan, or energia. And so I've been thinking about energy, and I'm thinking about what kind of energy is needed for us now. What kind of energy, what does energy mean to you? And your thoughts just on what energy is needed, or what energy means to you at this time.
I could go first. So energy to me it's very important in how I walk in my everyday life. I know that I can gravitate to different types of energies that make me feel that. So I have to make sure that my energy is aligned right away when I wake up in the morning. And that's just simple things, my simple routine that I do every morning. Drink my water, of course, say my prayer. And I think just by even taking care of your body with your prayer and the water that goes through your body, that is aligning your energy from dream world to now that you are awake. And then I go into my meditation to where that again is, I don't know, it's kind of like when I meditate, it's kind of like a dream world a little bit, like you're manifesting a lot of things. And all of that is energy that you are putting out into the universe, and to the universe speaking to you and coming back to you. And some days it's not easy to align your energy.
Mhm.
You can have bad days. You can wake up struggling. You could wake up sad. You could wake up worried, anxious, overwhelmed. So digging deep into your prayer, into within yourself, within yourself, of your spirit. Remember who you are. Like I'm digging deep in my journey right now.
Mhm.
And so my energy, I have to make sure it's aligned and good. So that way I can shine onto other people.
Yeah.
Especially with all the little kids that I work with every day. People I come into my path, my own children, my own home, so if I can radiate good energy off
Mm.
to other people, then I know that I'm doing a good deed, or I guess my job here on earth. Because I feel like I'm one of the ones that are able to help others. I'm able to help others to see different, to guide them.
Mm.
And maybe that's why I live a big hearted life journey, because I feel so much energy. I feel so much energy. So
I need
yeah,
to
I
go
have
with
to
that.
make sure. Yeah, so I have to
I
make
watched
sure
the
that my
video.
energy is good, and I use a lot of nature outside to restore myself, especially
Mm.
the sun. Speaking of full moon, I make sure that I acknowledge the moon a lot. Smudging is also another, taking care of your energy, your spirit. So those are just little things that I do, and I really try hard to be aligned, even though sometimes that's impossible, but you do your best.
Yeah.
That's all you can do on this earth.
Yeah, that's powerful. You said, I was just thinking about the times, I was thinking about, the opportunities I've had to watch you really direct your energy,
Yeah.
or even to direct the energy of another person. And there's also been moments when you've helped me really redirect my own energy when we've been in ceremonies and things. And
Yeah.
just like, really, you have so much intention, and
Yes.
it's so beautiful and just like splendid to be creating with you in those places where that energy isn't just for us, it's for everyone.
Right. Right.
you know so I love what you were saying about like digging deeper into our prayer and into what is really sacred. And I just, yeah, I'm so inspired by how I have had like that holy privilege or honor of seeing you direct that energy. And It's really powerful to be in with you.
And a lot of times too is I think to just directing that energy, you have to be real brave at times too, like to speak up, to even as simple of saying a prayer for somebody, like even if it's like a not good energy, but you can feel it. And then right away within yourself, you're like, okay, they need some type of prayer. And then you go and you like are praying for them, even when it's hard for you, when that energy is reflecting onto you. But, you have to be brave enough and courageous and be like, okay, these guys need prayers. Or, whatever. But yeah, I was reminded by, being brave and walking in this way of life of sometimes you feel like you're not doing enough, but
Yeah.
but it, you do what you can each day.
Yeah. I love that. Teresita?
Yeah, thank you. So I really love that image that you brought to me with the water in the morning and being that place of like going from the dream state to this reality, I guess.
Right.
And being that grounding or that channel to bring you here. I had never thought of water in that way, or drinking water in the morning in that way. So thank you. I think that's really beautiful. Yeah, I mean, for me, a lot of the stuff that Isa shared resonates with me, but something that I've been sitting with more is how to really try to stay in being a hollow bone as much as I can through my day, to bring the energy of the creator, the universe, my guides, my ancestors, and not be so much about me needing to do everything or me being the one that takes care of everything. Because first of all, we don't all carry like the same, we don't carry the same power as a creator. We don't carry the same power as our ancestors, right? So we need their help. But really stay as a hollow bone to really know when to redirect that energy, or when somebody is needing a prayer and what prayer it is that they need, or so that's something that I've been sitting a lot with. Just something that I want to share that keeps coming. I received wisdom a few days ago around how how when we judge ourselves or we judge others or we judge our creations, it's really that we're judging the creator or the creator's creations, because we are a mirror of the creator. So in I don't know, and that wisdom really hit me for the first time. I've heard that many different times in different ways, but it like finally hit me. I'm like, okay, how can I really be that mirror of the creator and bring that energy and bring the energy of the sun and bring the energy of the earth. Like this morning, I wrote another little poem around, like I imagined the earth being sprinkled with this magical sparkles, and I was seeing it where I was standing, but also like spreading and just being love and I don't remember what else I was imagining, but also how maybe I should look at what I wrote because I'm not remembering right now. So yeah, it was like a magical glitter of love and marble, and that was being sprinkled on the whole earth. And then I was imagining how every creature was being kissed with shimmering wonder and warmth and compassion. And then how my soul was growing wings that were full of awe and freedom, and how and then at the end it felt like my heart was really sinking into the synchronizing, my heartbeat was synchronizing with the heartbeat of the earth.
Oh,
And it just brought me into this deep place of peace. So it felt like I went through this journey of just seeing the energy through this world, being in different places, different beings, and just spreading love and compassion, and especially in these times that we're needing so much healing. Our hearts need so much healing, and we've been taught to not heal, right? We were told that if we go to see therapists, we're weak. We're told that if we feel we're sensitive, and that's bad. And we're told all these things about shutting down our healing. And so yeah, I was just thinking about energy and how it can be used for healing ourselves and others, and not just ourselves or others, but also every being in the earth and the earth. And yeah, and I guess my process this morning was around just really imagining it and seeing it, and it felt like a different way of connecting to energy. I'm not much of a person that tries to connect much with my vision. I connect more with feelings, but just seeing it, being able to see it, it took the energy in a different direction and a different way. It felt more real. So I liked using the word imagine, because I can connect better with the word imagining rather than am I a visionary or am I having a vision? But how can we imagine a different world? And if we can imagine that different world, then we transform energy in that way. Those are the things I've been sitting with.
Wouldn't that be so cool if we all got up every single morning and we imagined sprinkling good energy, good guidance, good love, protection?
oh.
Sending all of our army of guidances, our spirits.
Yeah.
What kind of like manifesting that can create. So I encourage you, all you watchers right now, tomorrow you wake up and you imagine good energy, protection, love, good health.
Mm. Yeah.
And I know that one day, not maybe a couple of generations down the road, we'll have some good leaders to where feeling is the normal thing, you know.
Yes.
Speaking your voice and being clear with it, and all of those things, you know, even loving, where boys are where boys can cry, or, you know, feel that love, and just have a strong heart for everybody. And that generation will be able to teach that. I know that will happen. It will.
And you're teaching all of that to your little kids, right?
Yeah.
You get to guide every day.
All the stars. Yeah. All the stars.
Oh yeah.
Over all the earth. And well, Teresita, when you were talking, it's just like I felt there's such a sanctuary, like you feel like such a sanctuary, like your words are a sanctuary, your poems are a sanctuary, your being it's just like you just have all of these, it's like you're making little sanctuaries. And when you were talking about that, like offering this, almost like offering a sanctuary to the earth herself with your energy is so moving and beautiful. And I think about, in the book, what my mom was talking about was how we have it turned around the wrong way. Like we have people at the top of the order of things instead of the creator at the top of the order. Like it's because I think it's 16 things in the order. Pretty sure it's 16 things. And so, but we have we've put ourselves before the other 15, 16 things or 14 things. So it's just interesting to me to think about that, because the creator and the sun make the energy with the stones and the earth, and then we come from those energies. And so, which kind of leads me to think a little bit about today. I was outside, I was thinking about our talk and I was reflecting on it. And as I was sitting there, these hummingbirds were coming up and they're like, zzz, 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 they make this sound. And then they also have this voice and this voice that is sounds kind of like electricity to me. Like if I were to hear electricity, it would sound like a hummingbird. And I was just mesmerized by them. And I thought of all the energy that it takes for that little life, and their wings are constantly going, and but they live off of flowers. Oh my gosh. Wow. Right. But that's it, when I'm looking at the order of things, I'm like, that bird has more energy than I'll ever have, and is so connected to the sacred and is a sacred person. I would see that bird as a sacred person. And so I'm just thinking of, are all of these other sacred people that are in all of these other forms. And what are your thoughts about how we can engage, how we can participate in new ways with our energy, or honor the energy of these other beings? How can we bring sanctuary? What I was feeling with you, Teresita, how can we explore with, when I was thinking about the water and how, something that I believe is true is that if it's in the water, it's everywhere, So I was thinking even about bringing those sparkles and the water together, and just because it always looks like there's stars on the water to me, but it's exciting. So I was just wondering about how can we bring sanctuary with our energy to the world right now, because it seems like kind of an action word. Energy seems like it's soft and strong. So I'm just curious about your thoughts. And
I think acknowledging all beings, and just as you were talking about the hummingbird, I imagined or had the thought of, what does all of our energy look like? Is it a sphere? Is it a ball of energy? Is that hummingbird's energy brighter than my energy I'm carrying now? Just all the different types of energies that we all carry, and acknowledging even just acknowledging it, bad, good. Thank you for letting me feel that, or thank you for giving me some of that energy, or receiving some of that energy. Thank you for stopping. You know, sometimes you have to stop in some of the energy. So, thank you. But yeah, I can't get, I'm just so stuck on everybody's energy now of like what it looks like.
I love that. I love that. So it's kind of like seeing the soul, right? Of
Yeah.
something, almost. Or how would the soul of something look like?
Right.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with what Isa's saying about honoring all beings. And I think something we've lost is our curiosity and our wonder. Yeah, like when I go on walks, it takes me forever to walk because I stop to take photos of the little ants that are carrying, sometimes they're carrying leaves. Sometimes recently I found them carrying these large sticks for an ant. I had never seen them carrying sticks. Or sometimes I've seen them carrying, there's these big ants here that have wings, and the wings look like fairy wings to me. And I guess there were these ants carrying some of the wings of the other ants. That was quite interesting. But just being curious instead of being bothered by these tiny creatures that there's tons of ants where I'm at, so they're everywhere. And yeah, they do bite, and it's painful when they bite. But instead of going into fear or like, oh, what are they doing? Or just seeing, again, that order of like, oh, I'm bigger than them, so I should just kill them or whatever. Really go into curiosity and going into their world and see what they're doing and learning from them, right? Because I've learned so much from watching all these ants. I've learned a lot from the recent spiders that have been showing up. And also how to connect with their energy. And like a way that I honor animals is by getting them tattooed. And speaking of the hummingbird, I have it on my chest. And it was very purposeful to do a hummingbird. It was to connect with the energy of how gentle and open-hearted they are. And they're tiny, right? And they carry a lot of sweetness, but they're the only bird that can fight, what is it, a falcon? Or
they can eagles, they've been known.
Or yeah. So they're tiny and very sweet, but they're also fierce. And that was something that I wanted to connect with. How can I carry both the sweetness, but also be able to be in my power and protect myself when I need to, and others? How to speak from the heart, but also from the fear voice of the hummingbird. So that's why it's on my chest, is connecting with my heart nature. So just honoring those lessons that they have to teach us, because even the tiniest little ant has so much to teach. If you can just sit and be curious enough to watch how they work together and see the lengths of distance that they go to bring their little leaves or their sticks into their home. Or there's these areas that have paving, and they just dig all this dirt through this tiny crack, and there's just piles of dirt that they dug out to create their homes. And I don't know, I'm just fascinated by ants, but that's why I'm using it as an example. But yeah, just taking the time to slow down and be curious about those things, as opposed to just going and having the goal about making money, or the goal about who has the most power or who's the most successful, but really going back to honoring all of life and knowing that every being and every being that's here has a purpose and a reason, and the same way that we do. And no one is more important than the other. I mean, there is an order, right? But we're just not more important than the tree next to us or than the little ants that are doing their work. They're here for a purpose. And if we could just allow ourselves to work in unison with all of that energy, then we would have a different experience, I think. A more rich one, and one with more love, and where we can see ourselves without the competition and the who has the most power, and or who's right and who's wrong. We just get into all these arguments that don't matter so much. If we could all try to be more in the same frequency of high frequencies and not such low frequencies. I'm starting to connect more with energy in terms of frequency. That's something that I hadn't really connected with before. And it's starting to make more sense to me in terms of manifesting and in terms of why I may connect better with a person versus another person. And I'm starting to see more of the frequencies. So I think for me, energy, I can feel energy better if I think about it in terms of frequencies. There's something about that image that resonates better with me.
Thank you, Teresita. So beautiful. Thank you. I was thinking about what Issa had said about the shape of energy. Like you're like talking about the sound, and the feel, and I feel like this is, and I can see those two things again, like weaving together. And
So trust your energy, guys.
that's great. Yes. Wow.
What is one thing you do, Char, for your energy, or even to like cleanse your energy? I feel like sometimes we need to do that too. Get it to shining again, or just get it moving. And 'cause I think sometimes we're just at a standstill, so in routine.
I think, as I'm thinking about it, and today there was a few things like going outside and being with the birds. And I love birds so much. And Issa, you and I have talked about them before on the talk, like just how much I love them so much. And I spend a lot of time with them. And so one of the things is just being with them is purifying for me and cleansing for me.
Yeah.
I talk with them also. And then just to feel the wind coursing over my body, to be outside and feel the energy of the wind, the energy of Tate, the breeze moving over me and cleansing me, the Are. And then, I work with a lot of different cleansings. So I work with water. I work with breath, cleansing breath. But I also work with like the cleansing power of prayer, and just asking, especially for my mind, because my own mind is not sometimes a very safe place to be by myself. I'm just like, oh my gosh, I better find a way to cleanse my mind. And so sometimes I'm like, oh, great spirit, come into my mind, creator, please cleanse my mind, or please bring peace and replace this kind of chaotic thinking I'm having with some peace of mind. And So it's like you're both kind of talking about like that ability to change energy or transform energy. And I find that the creator is the fastest at transforming the energy that's in, you know. So that's really something really beautiful. And I was also, I was, do you guys know about starlings? Do you guys see starlings? I think they're a bird. They're considered kind of invasive. And I think they came into the United States from Europe. Surprise, surprise. And they will take up room in other people's nests, they'll like take over nests, they'll like hatch other people's babies, they'll like put their babies in other people's. It's just really, they're a really interesting bird, but they also are like really incredible, and they do these things called murmurations, where I think it's called a murmuration. I'm not sure if that's what they call it, but they get together and they like make shapes in the sky when they fly together. And it's like an orchestral thing. It's cosmic. It's so incredible to watch. So I had this huge murmuration of starlings come yesterday. And they were like on the feeders, and they were so funny. They didn't, I don't know if funny is the word, but they were like on, and they had all of these wings on each of the, so it was just like this flurry of wings, and they didn't really want to share with each other. So what was like, and I just thought it was so interesting. And so I was watching this with kind of like amazement, with all these thoughts in my mind about all of these things, right? And then they started kind of like, boom, boom, like we have this big window, and they started like, I heard their little chests hitting the windows, and I was like, oh no, like, are they okay? So, and I looked outside, and they were a little dazed. They were kind of like, oh, but they were fine, all of them were fine. And it was like, but this very soft sound, almost strange, almost like a comforting sound. It was interesting. And just the thought of that. And then thinking about like our energy. I know it's like, this story is going somewhere. I see. I promise you it's going somewhere, I promise. But I was just thinking about our energy just now, and how we're kind of like those birds, and how we'll like be going for something or have our mind on something. And then, but it's like we think there's a clear pathway to something, and then we're like, but it's a window, and we're like, poof, and then we're a little dazed, like, oh, I guess that wasn't actually where I was going. And then it's like we can kind of get our bearings again, get bearings, and then be like, oh, this is where I really wanted to go. But I was also thinking about just like, how do we protect our energy, without kind of, right, like hitting a window or putting a window in the way of someone else's energy, where they think, oh, there's an opening, but really, poof, so I'm just opening that kind of. I thought that was so powerful. They came yesterday, and I was meditating on our talk yesterday too. So I think it's interesting with the hummingbirds and the starlings that came.
I like that. That's interesting. Of the window, we put up a lot of blockages for many certain reasons, and then we do get dazed when we think we're going in the right direction, and it's like, oh, okay, and Takashila's guiding you back. The greater powers, right, guiding you somewhere different. But and being dazed, and then shaking it off and trying to realign again, and knowing you learned from that. Or you should learn from that. You should learn from, oh, can't go there. So protecting your energy, and I don't know if that's like protecting your peace, like, is that the same thing? Because I'm real big into like protecting my peace right now if it doesn't suit me. And and I guess that is my energy. Like, I don't want it to go south. So I'm protecting that, so I just don't participate in whatever it is. Sometimes you don't have a choice, and you're in it already. And I think sometimes I like visualize myself in like a bubble. And maybe that's where they're bouncing off me, like because I just shelter myself because I'm protecting myself so much because I want to keep my peace.
Mm.
And so maybe go ahead.
Oh, I was just like, and you don't want them all like at the same bird
Yeah.
feeder.
Yeah,
They're just gonna like eat all the good seeds and, like, yeah, I don't know, it just came to my mind. Like,
yeah. And we can't like give, I mean, you could, but I think that if you give so much, then what is left for yourself? Because you can't forget about yourself. And I think a lot of people do that, forget about yourself and protecting yourself and your self-love and your peace. And that's all energy. That's a part of all of your energy. And you want it to be this big movie energy, and sometimes it's small, so that's why I said earlier, it's interesting how, is it big, is it small, what are we that day, what are we that moment sometimes, because sometimes we're just taking one step at a time. It just depends on where we're at in our journey. Yeah. Someone play off me before I get going.
I know, but all that energy is in there. Yeah, I was thinking like about what Teresa was saying, right? What Teresita was saying about the curiosity, like
Yeah.
to be curious about the energy, and yeah, just how interesting and how curious, and to acknowledge the energy. And that energy is forgiving, but it's also like it's the energy to cultivate and manifest and grow. And yeah, Teresita, what were your thoughts about protecting energy?
Yes, and when Isa was talking about the size of the energy, it just triggered a memory of, oh, I've taken a class about energy. And I'm trying to remember what I learned, but something that stuck out right now was that sizing of the energy. And I remember this person was teaching us how it felt to have your energy like be bigger at some moments or then smaller at some moments. And I think we have the choice to make that energy either big or small or bright or be more closed in. And I think protecting it can be as simple as that, as just imagining it, what size it needs to be at the moment, or how bright or how dim it needs to be at the moment, depending on what you want the experience to be. Because I do remember experimenting with it a little bit, and I remember I was doing the dishes and there was this neighbor across that the neighbors never said hi to us, or to me specifically. Maybe they did say hi to my husband, but to me they didn't. I was like, oh, I'm gonna experiment with my energy right now. So I just imagined it pretty big and bright. Then all of a sudden, the two neighbors that lived there and somebody else that I had never seen, they were like looking at me and waving through the window. So I think it's something that we're not very aware of, but it's there. And we do have the power to make it small or big, depending on, or bright or dim, depending on how much we want to give or how much we want to, or what we're expecting of, or not what we're expecting, what we're hoping the interaction with somebody might be, or the exchange that we want from something that we're giving energy to. And I think that's just what came to mind, is just playing around with the sizing of it and the brightness of it. Because everything is energy.
Yeah.
Everything has energy.
Oh, that's powerful. Yeah, that's true. True.
And I want to play off of how you said it's like your choice. How big, how small, how bright, how dim. Because we do have, we do have that choice to walk in what type, how bright of an energy we want for that day or that moment. And that was just kind of like a wake up for me. Like, get it together, come on. You want to be so bright.
Oh, shiny.
Yeah, because I mean, there are environments, right, that if you're just so shine, people are gonna try to
They'll gravitate
feed from that energy, and it will be debilitating for yourself, or
right.
Because there are people that just want to feed on other people's energy, and especially the bright ones.
Right.
So we do have the choice on how we want to show up and
show up and show out.
Yeah. Shine it. Shine it up.
And also in protecting our energy, I think having a lot of awareness around what we're giving our energy to and how much of it we're giving. So a lot of times we're just, like, one example that I have right now. I've been noticing that in the last few weeks, I've been having this extreme avoidance towards a few things, like maybe receiving some messages from my landlord, and I completely avoid it, and I wait a couple of weeks to listen to the message. And that's putting the wrong energy into something, because I'm avoiding it because I don't want to deal with it. But in reality, it's just in the background being like, oh, I need to look at that message. I need to look at that message. And what is it? And what is it? And is it gonna be something bad, or is it gonna be something good? Or like, I just start creating stories in the background for 2 weeks, as opposed to if I just looked at the message when I receive it, regardless if it's positive or what I would consider a negative thing, then I can deal with it right away. But it takes way less energy than me being in this avoidance space of not looking at it for 2 weeks and making up all these stories. And then I just gave a bunch of energy to this one thing that should have taken a tiny bit of energy.
So powerful, Teresita. Yeah. I'm thinking about right now, I'm just thinking about like the amount of anxiety that is being like cultivated through that experience, which is a lot of energy. That's like, so I think about, like when you were talking, I was thinking about, what kind of energy am I generating, through where I'm putting my energy. So I'm putting my energy here, but I'm actually generating energy by where I'm putting my energy. Right. So I just thought that was interesting. So good. So I would like us to continue this conversation next week if you guys are into it. I would be so honored, and it'd be so powerful, I think, to continue this conversation. And I just was wondering, like, is there a practice that you can think of over this week for people to think about in regards to their energy and working with their energy over this next week, and as we're exploring energy in the medicine talks? I'm like, oh, here, let me spring this on you now.
How about just like being aware
Mhm.
and knowing what different types of energies that you, I don't want to say play with throughout the day, but like, I guess feel throughout the day.
Mhm.
And just be aware of that. And then next time you could be like, okay, well, I had this type of energy and I had more of this type of energy. And then you can go to, okay, so what energy do you want to play off of? What energy do you want to kind of dissolve? Because sometimes our energy that we hang on to for 2 weeks, we might not want to do that again, you know? So then it's like, okay, so we have to be brave enough and step into how we can help ourselves. But first we have to know what types of energies we carry within ourselves. So just being aware of what we feel.
Being aware of our energy and what we feel.
Yeah, I think another practice could be exploring what's cleansing for your energy. Is it using water? Is it using a rattle? Is it using essential oils, or the air, the wind? Because I think that's one of the most important things, is to figure out how to cleanse our energy, because otherwise it just gets stagnant and it just gets building up, and it's just can become a huge mess. Or so I think it's really important that we find a way to cleanse our energy on a daily basis. Or yeah, I think if we could train ourselves to cleanse our energy when we have an interaction that doesn't feel right for our energy, if we could just do it right away, I think we could be walking in a lighter way and in a more brilliant way as well. Yeah, I mean, I speak that from experience. I feel like sometimes I just hang on to so many things that I just get weighed down so much. And so I guess I'm speaking for myself that I personally need a lot of cleansing. So I would like to invite everybody to try to explore how we can cleanse our energy on a daily basis. And even as we be more intentional about moving from one thing to the next. Like, okay, this is my prayer. Now I'm going to move to actually moving into my day, and I'm going to move into feeding my body and nurturing my body, and move into maybe getting to work, or if you work at home, connecting to work. Now I'm going to leave work, and just be more intentional about those switches of energy. And maybe not all of them require cleansing, but at what points in your day do you need the cleansing to keep your energy more vibrant and lighter? And I say that because I need that for myself. So
Thank you both so much. And so we're going to work with the women wisdom that was shared tonight, which is to be aware, to feel, to be aware of our energy. And I also really loved what you said, Issa, about the shape, like noticing the shape.
Yeah.
And then I also, I'm just kind of repeating what you guys said, but it was just like so fucking brilliant. It was like, oh my God. So, if you have brilliant, right? And then Teresita, what you said about the stars, right? So, and the purification, like it almost reminded me of like a shower, what you were talking about. And, and then just thinking about how can I cleanse the energy, and I was thinking it would be really powerful to think about like how can we support the energy of the earth right now, and so it'd be really nice to talk about what we can do for the earth and what's needed for the earth at this time, how to support the earth with our energy, and love to talk about that next week after everybody's purified and aware.
Right.
Thank you for sharing your energy with
Thank
me.
you. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
So grateful for your love and your wisdom, and I'll see you next week. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.